We're joined by an owner of hers in Arlene Roy, who joins us here on the morning line. Arlene, good morning to you, and you must be still riding off what would have been such a buzz on Saturday night watching your girl do her thing.
Oh, my God, Jason, it was just unbelievable, just unbelievable. I was gobsmacked, totally in awe.
Well, let's take a look at her heat win on Saturday night. And look, she had 2 runs prior to this at the Meadows, but neither of them as impressive as what we saw. And look, handled herself beautifully, as we know. It's always difficult from a wide draw on a 2-turn track in this sort of class to be able to cross with the tenacity like she did and win in that time, 29 and 75. Talk us through your experience on the night, Arlene. Where were you? Who were you with? And how was the thrill of when she got across the field?
Well, I was at home. I would have loved to have been in Melbourne, but just couldn't. My daughter is away at the moment, so we need to stay home to look after the pups. But I was at home with my husband and granddaughter, and I start watching it from race 1, and race 1, 2 and 3, I'm okay. And then the butterflies start coming in at race 4. By the time we get to race 6, I've got a full cage of butterflies roaring around in my stomach. And it's just, you sit there and you just hold your breath. You just hope that she comes out of that box, that Steve has done everything he can do to get her there, and she clears the box and away she goes. That's all I want for her, just to come out of that box cleanly. And ever since she came back from Brisbane, she's been really good. She's been coming out a lot better than what she was in the past, but it was just awesome. If she comes out cleanly, I know that she's there with a bit of a show, but geez, when she comes around the outside of the pack and that little cut in on the corner, that was unbelievable. I just screamed at her the whole way round.
And before we move on, give us an insight as to the reaction of your granddaughter on Saturday night.
My granddaughter? Oh, my God. She was sitting there. She was talking to her partner. She came up from Orange to spend time with us, and she was talking to her partner, and, oh, my God, I don't know who was louder, her or me. But at any rate, it was all good. It was just a perfect race. As they said, she served up a masterclass that night. It was brilliant. Just loved it.
Yep, she did, and we've known for a long period of time that she's had good ability, and for her to put it all together on such a big stage was awesome. We're going to wind the clock back to what was her maiden start, Arlene, which was at Ipswich. She was faultless and she won in time that was the best of the whole program in 24 and 67. Now, as far as I understand, you're a first-time owner, so how did it come about you acquiring her, and what are your earliest memories?
Oh, there's so many. Okay, so I'm not sort of getting any younger in years, and I decided that there were several things on my bucket list that I needed to do, and one of them was to have a greyhound. And I needed to do something for me, so I thought, okay, I'm going to get this greyhound. So I thought, if I'm going to get a greyhound, I'm going to train the thing myself and have a bit of fun. Anyway, I thought, my motto in life is, if you're going to do something, do it to the best of your ability. You work hard, you just do it to the best that you can. So I thought, okay, I'm going to get a good dog, and I had no idea where to start. So I went on to Brisbane Greyhound Racing Club website, and here was a big banner up the top, says Seneca stud, and I went, oh, well, this dog must be okay. So I called Steve White, and I said, have you got any? Told him what was going on. I think he thought I was the most insane woman he'd ever talked to in his life. But at any rate, I said, have you got any litters coming up? And he said, yeah. And he sent me through the ones that were coming up, and I had a look at them. Not that I knew much about what I was looking at, but I had a look at, how many winners they'd had and all the rest of it. And there was nothing there that really caught my eye. And then he posted up a shot of Fabwick's litter. And I went, oh. So I had a look at that and went, this is the one for me. And all I wanted was a bitch. I just wanted a girl dog. So I contacted Steve and I said, is she selling them? And if so, how much are they? And the rest is history. You know, I ended up buying 2 dogs from Kieran. David Brash had a look at the pedigree for me and said, okay, a litter of this calibre doesn't come along very often, so if you can afford it, you should buy 2 so that they run together. So then my daughter Vanessa said, okay, well, let's do, you buy 1, I'll buy 1, and we'll just go halves. So that's what we've done. And unbelievable. So we ended up with Snitch and Sirius. And honestly, Jason, it is the best thing I've ever done. I have enjoyed these dogs so much. I really wanted to rear them myself, but everyone said to me, no, you'll turn them into pets. So I put them with George Zammit up at Fernvale for a while, and then I moved them then onto Ian and Kerry Hogan's place at Churchable. So Ian and Kerry finished rearing them for me and broke them in and started racing. And honestly, Ian is like, he's just the best guy. You know, he's lovely. He educated me. He used to laugh about professors, you know, how, you know, they're still in school, and, you know, he was just a really funny guy. And he educated me as far as he could. And then when the time came, both of them went down to Steve for the launching pad, but that never happened. But still, I'm just in awe of these dogs. They are the most loving, caring, beautiful dog. You know, they're just, they're so easy to look after, just unbelievable.
Yeah, that they are. Now, we're going to have a look at her win at Warragul in the Breeders' Classic. And given what we've heard from you so far, Arlene, and sort of the love and the sort of purpose of why you wanted to get a greyhound and involved in the sport, I'm sure if she just had sort of 10, 20 starts somewhere in Queensland and ended up just being the most lovely girl, you'll be thrilled with that. But when you got an indication when she was going through her education process that she had some sort of potential to go on and do some special things, what was that adrenaline rush like?
Oh, the first time I saw her, when she was at George Zammett's, she was only young. She was at George Zammett's and she was in a pen, and there was a couple of dogs there of Cyril McGregor's that were a little bit older than Snitch and Sirius. And I used to go up every Friday to see the pups. And George said to me, I'll leave it. You're coming up every Friday, so I'll leave the dogs and you can take them out into the big paddock and give them a gallop. And he's had a big dam down the bottom and that sort of thing. It was brilliant. It was really, really good. Anyway, I'd take them down, and it used to scare me because the dogs would take off and I'd be standing there and they'd come running straight at me, and I would just freeze and hope to God that, because they run straight at you and then they just dart off, you know. And I thought, oh, shit, if they knock me over, I'm history. Anyway, I was watching them this one particular day, and Snitchy always used to come back to me. She'd come back to make sure I was still there and, you know, for a pat and this sort of thing. Anyway, this one particular day, she was standing by my side and she was watching the other dogs down near the dam, and she took off. And I've got to tell you, Jason, I've never seen anything like it in my life. You know that she's got that little afterburner thing that goes on, like, you know, like somebody's lit her up and away she goes. You know, she just has this little burst of speed, and that's what I saw. And when I saw that, I thought, oh, I don't know that I've seen the other dogs do that. This looks really good. And my granddaughter was actually with me, and I said, did you see that? She said, yes. Oh, my God. So anyway, we've been watching her, and then when Ian broke her in, he just said, she's so far in front of where she should be. He said, I don't know what's going on here. And then, obviously, then she went for her maiden run, and she broke the maiden class record for Ipswich that day. So, yeah, we knew that we had something fairly special. Corby was really good. She would talk me through a whole lot of stuff as well. And, it's just the amount of assistance that we have had has just been unbelievable. Really good.
Yeah, from the days of running around almost knocking you over to now lining up in a Group 1 final this Saturday night. You've mentioned a couple of times clearly about Professor Snitch, but also Professor Sirius, who's the brother of Professor Snitch. I understand he's gone back home now. What's the latest around his situation?
He was with Steve for a while, and I don't know. He just, whether he was homesick. Steve says, "Don't be silly. He's not homesick. He's fine." Whether he's homesick, whether it was the cold weather in Melbourne or what, I'm not sure. But yes, he has come home. He's with the trainer now up at the Sunshine Coast, Trevor Lindsay and his partner Kim Watson. So I'm very happy with them. They're fairly laid back, but they have been always willing to help me out when I've been in a bit of a tight situation as well. So yeah, I'm happy.
And the Professor prefix, where did that come from? I think you might have alluded to it not too long ago, but what's the story behind that?
Oh, it's a bit of a conglomeration, actually. Okay, so when we were naming the dogs, I know in greyhounds they have their racing name, then they have a totally different kennel name. So I didn't want that to happen. I wanted Snitchy to be known as Snitch. So we decided on their names right at the very, very beginning. Before we even got them, we knew what we wanted to call them. So one was Snitch, one was Sirius. And then when it came time to register their names, we tried different names and kept on getting rejected. So they told us it would be easier if we put a prefix in. So we thought, okay, well, Snitch and Sirius, obviously that's from Harry Potter. So my granddaughter was responsible for that. And we thought, okay, well, the professors are in Harry Potter. So we went with Professor. Plus that, not that I'm a professor, but I used to be a teacher. And Kerry Hogan, she was a teacher as well. So we thought, okay, well, it all ties in, it was meant to be. Yep, so that's where Professor came from. And isn't she a professor?
That she is. She's doing everything like it at the moment. And as we mentioned, how good she was on Saturday night, she now lines up in the final this Saturday. And now you weren't able to get there Saturday, just gone. Have the circumstances changed? It's going to allow you to be trackside this week?
Oh, there's no way I'm not going to be there. Yes, we will be there. My husband and I are coming down. My daughter's still overseas. Normally she would come down with me, but she's actually on the Cook Islands, Vanessa. So, yes, Norm and I are going down. We'll have dinner with Steve and Kerry and watch the race. Yep.
Well, if you don't mind, Arlene, I'll be there on Saturday night too, so I might join in for a quick feed before getting on air and doing our thing and honing in on the Maturity Classic. Great to hear your story. I mean, we speak to a lot of people, Arlene, where it's probably quite normal for them to do these sort of things and normal to be a part of these sort of races, but to hear your story and how much it means to you is absolutely incredible. So thank you so much for joining us here on Going Greyhounds on the Morning Line, and we'll see you Saturday night, and best of luck.
Okay, thanks, Jason.